Alright guys, so I'm going to talk about some video game trailers. I'm just going to compile all the video game trailers I saw last night and just kind of talk about them in one big video. Video Game Awards been going pretty good. A lot of cool new trailers, new video games. Sadly, we did not get Mortal Kombat as we usually did. God, when are we going to get the next game? But they did, Ed Boon is saying, like, the next game requires a lot of love, so maybe it is that horror fighting game that they talked about, that they've kind of hyped up about. So, who knows? Anyway, so, this is going to be me talking about some of the major video games that have come out, and this was really, like, holy shit, this is really cool. One of which, first and foremost, was a game I was not expecting at all. A new Hellboy game. We did get one based off the movies, not too well. It was more of the comics and movies put together, but we had one decades ago. This is really cool because this one really really has like the Mike Mignola kind of feel, very much the art style, and it doesn't look like a turnstile game or like some kind of like lame ass mobile game. It looks like you can actually like punch something, like you can actually jump, punch and stuff. And we also have, I was actually surprised by this, because it's kind of like a Colin Farrell The Batman moment, right? Where I was just watching it and went, no, really, that's Lance Reddick? No, really, Lance Reddick is Hellboy. And I was like, huh. I was half expecting when he was just about to talk, because there was this moment coming, I was like, alright, it's going to be Ron Perlman, right? They're going to get Ron Perlman back to voice Hellboy. And no, that's Lance Reddick, voicing Hellboy. Which I was not expecting. Talented, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. He's actually very, dude's got some chops, and that's definitely a Hellboy voice. But like, I was not expecting that. Not a lot we know about the game. All we know, it's going to delve into the world of nightmares apparently, so that'll be cool. I'm a big Hellboy fan, and it's always cool to see my boy in something new. So I am very excited for this game. I am 100% down for this game. We don't have any information. I'm hoping we get like a lot of cool characters. Since this looks like it's going to be more off the comics, I'm really hoping we get to see like, Rasputin would be cool as a boss character. I'm probably sure he'd be the final boss. Maybe Baba Yaga as a boss would be cool. I would love to see like other characters. You could play as maybe other characters. Like maybe you could play as Liz. You could play as Abe. Abe would be really cool, and like maybe doing stealth missions with him. Lobster Johnson would be so cool. Like that would, I think, if anything, that would probably be like a DLC. If this game got DLCs, you'd probably get like a Lobster Johnson DLC mission. Like that would probably be cool. That would be really cool. Like maybe DLCs can be other characters. If that's just how I would do the DLCs, is like have it that it's the other BPRD agents out there. Like you have, you have all the other agents, and there's tons of agents out there in the Dark Horse comics. And like I said, Lobster frickin' Johnson. Come on. Anyway, so, and also, if we get a Lobster Johnson mission, or he gets to be a playable character, you have to get him voiced by Bruce Campbell. You have to get him voiced. That's always been like a fan cast for everybody, is Bruce Campbell playing Lobster Johnson. Anyway, so yeah, I'm really excited. Next up, we have another game I was not expecting, was Transformers Resilience. Transformers Resilience, we don't know anything about this game. It got announced right out of the blue. Even, I showed it to Jason, he was like, what the fuck is this? And not to say that in a bad what the fuck is this, it was more like, holy shit, where the hell did you come from, video game? And yeah, that's basically what it was. It was very much a, holy shit, this is real kind of moment. So, it looks like in the game that you're playing as a team of survivors alongside who appears to be Bumblebee after the Decepticons have ravaged Earth. So, post-apocalyptic Transformer story that's looks like it's taking a lot of inspiration from All Hail Megatron. It straight up is taking a lot of inspiration from All Hail Megatron. Which, if you guys don't know, that was a major event in the early days of the Transformers IDW comics where Megatron and the Decepticons launched an all-out attack on Earth and basically won. They stranded the Autobots or killed a lot of them, and it was like just, yeah, Megatron won for a hot minute. So that looks like they're taking a lot of inspiration from All Hail Megatron. You're probably going to play as both human and... It looks like how it's going to play is that you're going to play as probably human and Autobot, which I'm totally down for. Maybe we can get, like, more IDW Spike Wiki than, you know, regular Spike Wiki. That'd be kind of... Spike in the comics is actually a lot more badass and a lot more morally gray, and a little more... way more complex. I mean, it's IDW Transformers. Of course, they're way more interesting. Anyway, so that looked like a lot of fun. I'm very excited for it. Then we have Suicide Squad, which was more of just not so. It was more of a cinematic trailer showing of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and yes, it is the fun. Kevin Conroy did get all of his lines done before the game was done. So that's really cool. It was a beautiful message after Batman speaks, and it goes, "Thank you, Kevin." And I guarantee you, there wasn't a dry eye in the entire in probably the entire game, like the people watching. I've seen a lot of reactions, and people were like, "Yep, here come the tears." Same here. Anyway, yeah. I'm still kind of like on the fence for Kill the Justice League, but we'll see. We'll see where this goes. So let's move on to our final game that I wanted to talk about this time around. We're going to talk about Jedi Survivor. Jedi Survivor is the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order, one of the best Star Wars games that's come out. The gameplay looks really clean. It looks really we get to see so many new worlds. But I do have a problem with it, and it's gonna be one that people are gonna be like, really, that's your problem. The problem is, and it's the same problem I've had with other characters in Star Wars that are still Jedi survivors. It's that they seem to be a little too OP, and it seems like that's what we're doing with Cal. What I really loved about what I really loved about Fallen Order was that Cal felt like a Padawan who hadn't used his powers in a while. That's what I really liked about it, was Cal... Even as Cal, you were still, like, a very fallible Jedi. You were still, like... Yeah, you couldn't take Vader. Like, that was the whole point of the final boss, was you couldn't fucking beat Vader. For all this training and, like, learning you've done, and all the people you've nearly beaten, like, you've barely beaten, you just can't compare to Vader. Like, that's the whole thing. But I'm watching this gameplay of all the new, like, insane force powers, and I'm like, we're getting to Star Killer level right now, and I don't like that. It seems like he's just a little too OP. I'm like, okay, how did you die or not be seen again? I mean, to be fair, Cal could show up in the future, because Will Porter is his actor, and he is working for Marvel right now as Adam Warlock. So, I'm just saying, maybe they're planning on bringing Cal to a Star Wars TV show in some capacity. Who the fuck knows? But yeah, that's kind of my problem, is that I don't like the idea of being... Because there's literally a moment where I was like, oh, okay, that's enough. Where Cal literally stops all these blaster bolts, like freezes time, and then pulls one of the people in front of the blaster bolts. I'm like, okay, now we're getting a little too insane with these force powers, and I don't like that. Because I like the whole idea of, like, yeah, and that always bothered me. I was like, if you were so powerful, how come you died? Or how come you did this? Or they really have to, like, really explain hard as to why Luke... It gets really hard, and Dark Horse did this too. The problem isn't solely on Disney. Dark Horse and the extended lore did this too, where it's like, okay, you were such a badass and you're so cool with the Force. Where were you during the original trilogy, right? And Disney, like, Dark Horse was egregious of that too, so I can't fully put the blame on Disney, but Disney does this too, and they do with Ezra, where they have to, like, finagle in some kind of insane, dumb way to get this character out of here. And still, it's like the cake and eat it too kind of thing, of why Luke was considered the last Jedi. So that's why it bothers me. And that looks like they're gonna do the same dumb finagling they're gonna have to do to explain where was Cal if they're gonna keep him alive. You know? It's kind of like, why is Ahsoka still here? Like, why? Like, Ahsoka's story should have ended in that duel with Vader. And that's not that I hate Ahsoka. I love the character. It's just I feel like she's overstayed her welcome, and I don't want that same thing to happen to Cal. You know what I'm saying? And making him like, and I know, like, maybe I'm just overthinking it, but yeah. And the game, and don't get me wrong, the gameplay looks really cool, and it looks a lot of fun. I'm just like, man, you guys are gonna write yourself into another corner like you've done with several other characters, like Ezra, like Ahsoka. See where I'm going with this? Anyway. I've said anyway a lot. That's how I think that's like my tick to move on to another sentence. I just realized that, but whatever. So yeah, you guys, that's just how I feel. That's just how personally I feel about this whole thing. It just bothers me, you know? I don't know why, it just really bothers me that we make a character with all these crazy new force powers that we've never seen from any other character, even though they're super powerful, and then they have no major training, and they have, like, nothing behind it. It's just like, I don't know. So, I'm not saying the game's bad. It's a trailer, and I'm not saying that, and it looks really good. I'm just like, it looks like the game writers and the Star Wars continuity on a whole have written them. It looks like, I'm afraid they might have written themselves into a corner about what to do with Cal in the form of the game. Now, disclosure, you could run into Vader again and maybe put up more of a fight, but you're still not on his level. Like, that could be the thing. Like, maybe that could be a case, or maybe you run into a stronger Inquisitor, like the Grand Inquisitor. Or, I'm kind of thinking that the Ninth Sister's still alive. I'm still convinced she's still alive, because we just saw her get blasted down a hole. And if you've learned anything in Star Wars by now, it's that holes don't kill people. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of all of these video games? I'm really excited to hear what you guys think. Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.